whenever I talk to, seasoned veterans in the industry, just walking away from claims doesn't come easy. I've talked to people who've walked away and then came back. I actually have multiple people have walked away and then come back, and others who just you keep staying involved. And I think it's true for the legal industry too. I think lawyers have a very hard time just
letting
retiring.
go.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I think and I mean, maybe it goes with other industries as well, but I think you've spent so much of your life doing this, and you're so passionate about it. It's hard just to be like, okay, I'm done. I don't.
You can't just turn your brain off to it. You
Yeah.
can't.
No, you can't. You can't turn it off. And sometimes, just like my daughter played college basketball. I played basketball. At some point in time, it's time where you say, you know what, it's just time to do it. And I know some people. One of my mentors retired like 10 years ago. I still keep in touch with him, and he's enjoying his retired life. He's traveling and doing things, and he was. They even tried to drag him back in to try to be a consultant because no, I said I'm retired with my wife. I'm just going to enjoy my life. I put in my hard work. Where you have some people who, it's like a football coach of, say like a Joe Paterno, for instance. When Joe Paterno was coaching, he was lively. Nobody knew he was sick. When he stepped away from the game, he sort of faded away fast. So some people really need that connect where they still need to be part of something. If it's just like football players, sometimes you don't have a backup plan, and then when you don't have a backup plan, there could be problems. I have a backup plan, so I have other things in my life other than insurance,
Sure.
So it's always good to, again, it's always good to plan. You don't want to consume your life in something where you're putting all your eggs in one basket, because if it's ever taken away, you need really something else to fall back on. So, and that's what I try to tell people. And I also try to tell people as well, the younger people especially, is yes, you put in a hard day's work, but do not let it consume you. You have to balance your life. You're actually more productive when you balance your life. You put in the day's work, and sometimes if you have those projects you have to get done, it's all about time management. So you just have to have the time management in place where you're not burning yourself out, because you can suffer burnout in this business if you let it happen to you. So it's one where especially when we're working remotely, where I think the industry is more going to like a flexible schedule where you're going to be working remotely at times. Some people are isolated, and some people don't have discipline as to when to turn off the switch, when to go take a walk. And what I tell people is, just because you work more than somebody else doesn't mean that you're more productive than somebody else, because it's all about what you're doing within that time. If your time management is poor, you're going to be, it's like trying to mow grass, but then you have a lawnmower that's not cutting very well. And then you can keep doing it over and over again and still not done well. You have to, I find out the best claims professionals are sharp, which means that they are sharp, they're rested, their life is balanced. They're not putting everything all in one basket to where they're burning themselves out. And then when you burn yourself out, you make mistakes, you get irritable, and you don't really look forward to anything else. So sometimes you just got to say, you know what, I'm taking my vacation. I'm not responding to emails. I'm not going to look at my emails. I'm taking my week off. Take your week off, get your rest, because the work's not going anywhere. It's going to be there when you get back. So it's all about learning how to balance your life and balance your work, just to keep everything as a whole and not focus just on one aspect to where it's do or die.
How do you do that though? Like, for instance, how, like you specifically, how do you turn off your brain? Because sometimes when I have like a heavy claim that I'm working on, or like a real bad accident, if it's a personal injury case, they stay with you. We're still human beings. We're reviewing things. We're reviewing medical records. Whatever the claim might be, it stays with you. Like, how do you find ways to kind of turn that off so you can have a normal life as well?
Well, I equate a claim, excuse my expression, but I equate a claim to like a vehicle, a car. So when you work on a claim file, can you spend all day working on that one claim file? Just like a car, does a mechanic spend all day working on one customer's car? No, they have to balance out and say, okay, I'm going to spend, like I always say, have a schedule for your day. So from usually some people say, you know what, some people are stronger when they wake up in the morning. They're more focused on stuff. So you take the most difficult stuff and you do that first. So, you know, say for instance, you have to review medical records and you need to spend a couple of hours looking at the medical records. Just mark that and say, you know what, I'm going to spend Monday, I'm going to get up 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to review those medical. And then you have another schedule, say, okay, I'm done with that. And you have to learn to move on from that because, for instance, I'll give you an example. I just worked on a 15-page case evaluation. I couldn't finish the 15 pages in one day, nor was I going to try. So what I do is I say, you know what, know your due dates. So that's the key. When is it due? So if it's, say, you know what, I have a week to get this done. So then you start, you know, you have to balance out and say, okay, I'm going to spend 30 minutes a day working on this here until I get it done. So you have to have the time management to get it done. Now, if you are always under pressure and under the gun, that means something is wrong. Either you're just being bombarded with too much work or you're not managing your time carefully, because again, claims, you're right, it does live with you. You can go to bed, and if you go into bed and you're thinking about, oh God, you know, I got to finish this report here, and I got this big meeting I got to prepare for, and
dreaming about settlement values and
right.
at night, it's haunting.
Right. I can't speak for everyone else. You know, how I handle these things is, you know, I just have a schedule. I know my strengths. I know that certain parts of the day I get tired, and I'm going to be less productive. So there's a, you know, you have your day where you can set aside, okay, now I'm going to return phone calls. Okay, I'm going to call this person back, that person back, that person back. And if you're going to review medical records, or if you're going to review a bill of particulars, or you're going to review a statement from the insured, it's really about just writing down the time, just keeping track of your time, because if you're spending too much time on one thing, then you're going to fall behind on the other stuff.
Yeah, gotta move on.
Right. Now, if you're preparing for, like, some attorneys, well, you know, I'm not an attorney, but some attorneys are preparing for trial. They basically have to drop everything that they're doing to prepare for that trial.
Right.
Again, you're not going to have, if you have 3 or 4 trials at the same time, then that's a problem.
That is a problem.
Yes.
Right.
That's a problem.
But, you know,
any attorney who heard this just really cringe.
Right. You know, so, you know, but look, if you're taking vacation, or you're taking a couple of days off, that's just to recharge your battery. You need to recharge. You need to really step away. My CEO, he goes to Africa and everywhere else. Nobody can get a hold of him when he's out for 2 weeks. So I said, look, if he's entitled, and he tells me, Derrick, you need to do this thing. You need to walk away. When you can't overwork, you can't work 15 hours a day. It's not productive. You have to really take that, you know, seriously.